for a few minutes of quiet contemplation and centering. Thank you. And now our opening song.
Good morning, everyone. Blessings to you. Happy Easter Sunday. The chorus of this song is, Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place. Fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our heart longs for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. So as we call the presence of the Holy Spirit into the space, and give thanks for another beautiful day.
We are so blessed. What an amazing, amazing music that was. Kev, Choice, Miles Blackwell, and Dane Drummer. Oh, my goodness. So, welcome to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Constance Chapman, and it's been a while since I've been up here doing these, so this is fun. So, welcome to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, where we teach spiritual principles and practices that nourish us, uplift us, and celebrate our oneness with all of life. And so a special welcome to those of you who are joining for the first time, both in the sanctuary and on live stream. So if you're here for the first time in person, will you please raise your hand, and our ushers have a special something for you. Great, and if you're here for the first time online, well, we welcome you. So do make sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter so you can learn all about the fun things we have to offer here. And the way you do that is you go to our website, oaklandcsl.org, and scroll down and you'll see there's a little form. You can just put your name in and then you'll start getting it. So let's just take a moment now to bless our children wherever they may be eating chocolate. So we honor all our youth and children in our community and the world. We love you, we see you, you are a spirit gift to us. Thank you for being in our lives, and so it is. So I just have a few announcements this morning. So during this, this is a month of a lot of high holy season. It's a high holy season all month. We've got the resurrection of Easter, we've got Passover, we've got Ramadan, we've got Esdras, the beginning of spring, and then along with that comes jelly beans, colored eggs, and chocolate bunnies, and how you make that connection, who knows, but we have and we love it. So our teens are hiding eggs and chocolate and bunnies and all that stuff for the busy bees, and so after service there's going to be a hunt. So please join us in the courtyard or in the social hall today after service. So, and then this Sunday, Reverend Sally Bartholomew is going to be here from her home on the road, which is, and she'll be talking about reveal, release, rise, and repeat. So meditation starts at 6:30, and the service begins at 7. Then next Sunday, our own ministerial student, Teresa Gardner, will be back on the pulpit speaking about boldly go. So the guided meditation is at 10, and the service is at 10:30. And remember that the bookstore sale is still on, so go shop after service. And she also needs, Linda needs help, so if you want to volunteer, please talk to her. The Diversity Circle is meeting this coming Friday, April 22nd, with our own Kenneth Cozy Arrington and his co-worker, Nina Thompson, who will be sharing the work of peers envisioning and engaging in recovering services. We'll be discussing the work of peers and how we can create a future where people with mental health experiences are valued for their essential contributions to society. Join us to learn how peers is making that happen. And that's at 7 o'clock, and it's by Zoom. One of the things that's going to be happening in person, starting in May the 7th, is a workshop called From Ruckus to Renewal. Ruckus. Doesn't make any difference. Ruckus or rumble, it's all the same thing. So, and here's why you need to sign up. So anytime, because we're coming out of a major 2-year change. Well, we hope we're coming out of it. And that's part of the anxiety that we end up with and the uncertainty. about what next and who are we next. And so over the past few years, we've had many what next. We've experienced pandemic shock, spaciousness, hoarding, malaise, even happiness. We've experienced wave after wave of variations and media predictions about doom and gloom. We've learned to live with masks, with vaccination cards, and with thermometers pointed at our heads. Now we're learning to live with an endemic virus. All of this impacts our self-image and how we see ourselves in the world. So the question as religious scientists is, who am I to be in this, and what is this calling me to be? So we'll explore this over 2 Saturdays, Saturday, May 7th and the 21st, from 10 to 3-ish, using both image and all of our own spiritual practices. We'll add image and body to that to really explore the principles of love, oneness, and creative process through intentional creativity. So we will be looking at a creative exploration of the gifts and challenges of the past 2 years and a transformed you emerging from the pandemic. So the cost is $150, and all supplies, all the paintbrushes, all the paint, all the canvas, snacks, all of that's provided. So you can sign up. You can either talk to me, because actually I'm doing this workshop, and you can either talk to me after service, or you can sign up tomorrow. I haven't gotten it on the website yet, I have to say. So next, are you looking to make a difference in the world, in world events in your own life? As you know, the Chain Reaction for Peace is a worldwide noontime 15-minute meditation and prayer that's going on for peace in the Ukraine and elsewhere in the world. And it's at noon, and then right after that is the Guidance for Spiritual Living, which is an online Zoom course where we read every day from Dr. Daniel Lee Morgan's book, Guidance for Spiritual Living, and talk about the concepts that come up. So please join us for one or both of those things. Also, the Centers for Spiritual Living has an option to donate to the humanitarian relief efforts for Ukraine. And you can go to their website, csl.org/Ukraine, to make the donation. And if you'd like to make contact with it, make a connection with us, please send an email to me. And my email is constance@oaklandcsl.org. So, as always, for information of all that's going on at your Oakland Center, visit our website, oaklandcsl.org. Sign up for our weekly newsletter, the Thursday Village News, which you can sign up from on the website. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And you can like all those things too. So please read along with us as we read our vision and mission statement. You can stand if you want, or you can just sit. The vision of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living is to joyfully reveal the love and oneness of God. We are a welcoming and inclusive spiritual community dedicated to individual transformation and collective growth. Our purpose is to love, inspire, and serve our community and the world through education, music, prayer, and play. Thank you.
Thank you, Constance. So my name is Judith Roberts. I'm a licensed practitioner here, and I'm going to lead you in reading our minister's covenant. We are, in case you're new here, we're calling in a new minister and with this covenant that we're going to read. So I think it's going to be up on the PowerPoint. Okay, so just read along with me. There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which include the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to reveal Spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as wisdom. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by Spirit, for it is written, I am filled with divine wisdom. Allow divine mind to fill my mind now. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as unity in community. I now intend, I think we have another slide. Okay. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth for myself. For I am inspiring unity in diversity, embracing and nourishing our community. I am awakening the wisdom within. I am healing and expanding our community with the power of love. I am engaging the community in building a world that works for everyone. I am deepening family consciousness. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they are revealed in a way that illumines Spirit and serves the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious, and so it is. Ashe. Thank you. And now I have 2 readings. The first one is from John O'Donohue. So I invite you to just take this into your heart. Though the human body is born completely in one moment, the birth of the human heart is an ongoing process. It is being birthed with every experience of your life. And the second reading is from our founder, Ernest Holmes. Today we leave the tomb of doubt. We roll away the stone of uncertainty from our consciousness. We find the resurrected, the divine, the God-intended perfection and wholeness. So now I invite you to close your eyes as we move into prayer. Knowing that the one divine presence, the one great Spirit is right here and right now. It is in this sanctuary. It is with every individual who is watching online. It is within and it is without. It is the great love. It is the greatest power that there is. And it is omniscient. It is omnipresent. And it is omnipotent, all-powerful. And that power is love. And that love surrounds us. It surrounds everyone here. And it dwells within. It dwells within. And it informs each one here. And so as we move into this beautiful Easter Sunday, each one here is inspired and enriched by the words of our speaker, Reverend Catherine Sachs. Each one here leaves with a sense of renewal, a sense of rebirth, the rebirth that comes with each day and that comes with this season of spring and this season of holiness in so many traditions. And so as we go within, I bless each person here, knowing that they are enriched, that they are filled, that they are renewed, and that they are love, that the Spirit is indwelling in each one, and that it emanates out. And that as Reverend Catherine speaks, she is open to Spirit and lets Spirit flow through her. And that her words and her wisdom are received by all and they uplift all who are participating in any way, whether here in person, whether online, or whether viewing later after this is recorded and posted online. And so I give thanks for this and the more, knowing that all are here by divine appointment, and knowing that all is well. And so it is. Amen. Musicians.
Good morning. Easter Sunday always reminds me of my childhood, attending Sunday service with my grandmother in San Francisco at a Third Baptist Church, and singing these hymnals that always just bring about a certain presence. So I want to share one of these with you all this morning. Pass me not, O gentle Savior, hear my humble cry, while on others thou art calling. Do not pass me by. Oh, Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry, while on others thou art calling. Do not pass me by. Clap your hands if you feel good. Easter. Murdy made choice. I love you. Thank you.
Amazing work here, Dame and Miles and our own Pam. It's nice to hear you singing. I like that. Happy Easter, everyone. Oh, yes, here we are at Oakland Center. I'm Reverend Jerry, your minister here for now, and really happy to wish you happy Easter. It's good to see you all. What a lovely group today. And the music's right, the service volunteers are perfect, and our minister-to-be, who's going to be speaking to us today, is amazing. I think I would have been speaking today, but I was supposed to be on vacation, but that's next week, so I'll be here on the 8th of May for Mother's Day, celebrating. But I am so thrilled to announce and introduce my dear friend and colleague, Reverend Catherine Sachs. You know, she's been around these grounds since 1994, so she's no newbie. She probably doesn't even need an introduction from me, but I'm so thrilled and honored, and I know we're in for an amazing Easter service. So, Reverend Catherine.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy Easter to all of you here and to all of you who are live streaming, you know, at home in your jammies or your slippers or whatever it is, enjoying those chocolate bunnies. So, you know, because we are really talking about and celebrating Easter, and as we know, it's part of a lot of different high holy days at this time, I think that predominantly, in our predominantly Judeo-Christian culture and faith tradition, Easter does focus on the story of Jesus of Nazareth and how he arose after 3 days following his crucifixion. I think we all know the story. I don't need to go over it again, but if you need it, raise your hand and I'll give you a Cliff Notes version, okay? Okay, we're all there. Now, with all of that said, I also know that as religious scientists or various New Thought metaphysicians, spiritual seekers with open minds, I think many of us do know that the archetype of life, death, and resurrection is that. It is an archetypal story or a myth, and it spans the globe. And in preparation for this talk, knowing that death, resurrection, and life is this archetypal belief, I did some quick scan of different religious figures. And I looked at virgin-born saviors who were executed in some manner, usually fairly grisly, who descended into hell or Hades or whatever the appropriate name for the nether region in that culture was, and then rose again after 3 days. And just very quickly, I found 10. From Greece, Memnon and Adonis. From Egypt, Osiris and Horus. From Phrygia, which is actually now part of Turkey, a large part of Turkey, or Anatolia as they called it, Attis. From Persia, Mithras. From India, Krishna. And from Scandinavia, Baldur and Frey. And from Mexico, Quetzalcoatl. So, interesting. 3 days. Now, the number 3 is a very mystical and spiritual number, featured in many folk tales, myths, legends, and sacred texts. It is the number of wholeness, the wholeness of reality. It is, when we talk about the number 3 in this kind of context, the underlying message is that whatever is taking place and is reaching its fullness then, its point of completion, it's now whole, that happens within this cycle of 3. Wholeness. In our case, it would be the fully actualized human being, emerging radiant with life and with light. And today, in Easter, we honor this. Now, in Israel and Judea back then, who died was Jesus of Nazareth, who was a zealot and a radical rabbi whose messages were cracking the foundations of the temple, but who emerged from that tomb was the Christ consciousness. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Now, having given you that quick overview of all these different saviors, I have to say that because I came from an intensely Catholic background and grew up knowing nothing else, to find that the story of Jesus of Nazareth and his crucifixion, death, and resurrection was not unique in a one-time event was shocking to me. It was really hard to get my head around that. A professor, Max Mueller, said, "He who knows only one religion knows none." And over time, I really came to agree with that. Now, science of mind does not deny the divinity of Jesus of Nazareth by any means. We simply affirm the divinity of all beings, you and me, everybody. In fact, that whole idea is one of the most basic tenets of our spiritual philosophy, and it is well anchored in our creed, what we believe. And this is a direct quote. "We believe in the incarnation of the Spirit in all people, and that all people are incarnations of the one Spirit." So furthermore, we don't deny that Jesus was the Son of God. We simply affirm that all peoples are the sons and daughters of the Most High God. We are all beloved children of God. I don't remember where it was that Ernest Holmes said this, but I thought it was so perfect. We call Jesus the great example, not the great exception. And so the fact that similar stories of death and resurrection and darkness are told around the globe does not diminish Easter's meaning for anyone. In fact, just the opposite. I think that it points to an even deeper truth that we hold in our collective consciousness, and is greater than any one god or goddess's journey. Life, death, and resurrection are all around us all the time, right? From the macro to the micro. The earliest humans who became self-aware observed life, death, and resurrection all around them as the seasons changed. And it became just an ingrained knowledge. I'm going to read you something from one of my all-time favorite mystics and spiritual seekers, Howard Thurman. Now, as I'm reading this, those of you who were born and lived all your lives here in this wonderful temperate climate may not identify, but I lived in Maine and in Chicago, so I really can identify with this. Okay. From Howard Thurman. "This is the way the rhythm moves. The fall of the year comes, then winter with its trees stripped of leaf and bud. Cold winds ruthless in bitterness and sting. One day there is sleet and ice. In the silence of the nighttime, the snow falls soundlessly. All this until at last the cold seems endless, and all there is seems to be shadowy and foreboding. the earth is weary and heavy. Then something stirs. A strange new vitality pulses through everything. One can feel the pressure of some vast energy pushing, always pushing through dead branches and slumbering roots. Life surges everywhere, within and without. Spring has come, and the day usurps the night. Is there any wonder that deeper than idea and concept is the insistent conviction that the night can never stay, that winter is ever moving towards spring? Thus, when a man sees the lights go out one by one, when he sees the end of his days marked by death, he senses, rather than knows, that even the night into which he is entering will be followed by day. It remains for religion to give this ancient wisdom phrase and symbol. Phrase and symbol. And here we are today. I like that term, those terms. So both metaphorically and metaphysically, and in virtual reality, the cycle of life, death, and resurrection plays out repeatedly for each of us. And it shows up in so many different ways. Now, as divine beings having a human experience, we experience many kinds of little deaths as we go about our affairs. Endings, both large and small, welcome or unwelcome, happen to us routinely. And every person in this room, and those of you who are out there watching live streaming from wherever you are, you've all gone through a little death of some kind, and you have emerged from that onto the other side. We live Easter all the time. And this is what Easter's message is really all about. Dying to the old, being transformed as we are in that still darkness, and emerging transformed into something new. Change, as we all know, closes one door, and then, usually after some time, another door opens. And as we stand in that corridor, waiting for the door to open, looking at all those doors, it is kind of like being in a tomb. I mean, until the next door opens, we are often in the dark about what comes next. And there are good reasons for remaining in the dark for 3 days. Because the dark has nothing to fear. It has gifts to offer if we can but sit with it. Okay. And I told you that the number 3 represents fullness, completion, wholeness. And it's appropriate because when change comes upon us, it takes time to process what's going on, to absorb it, so to speak, and then to integrate it into our lives, right? We literally and figuratively go within to nurture our new growth in that darkness and be ready to step through that new door when it opens without leaving claw marks, if possible. Now, if we have and hold that consciousness of renewal and rebirth, we can shift what a tomb means to us. Instead of being a dark, dank, airless place of blackness, it can be a place of rest, renewal, revitalization, and infinite potential. It is a place where the transformation is happening. And the tomb can be the cocoon of the caterpillar to the butterfly, or you can substitute the word womb for tomb and a whole new understanding arises within us. All creation must gestate before birth. All creative ideas gestate within the minds and hearts of the artist and the genius who brings it forth. But I'm going to move from doors now to stones, because the title of this talk is Roll Away the Stone. And I'm talking about, of course, the stone that was placed in front of the tomb of Jesus of Nazareth then, because we know that story so well. The stone that Mary Magdalene found rolled away when she came the next morning to finish anointing Jesus' body with oils and herbs. Now, that's the original stone. But the stones I'm talking about today are the stones that weigh down our spirit, that rob our lives of joy, and we all have them. And these stones entomb us just as surely as the stone entombed Jesus. So what kinds of stones am I talking about? Those that we have created over the long years of our lives, sometimes subconsciously and unconsciously. But it's like stones. It's like how stalagmites in deep caves are created over eons with a very slow drip, drip, drip of mineral-filled water. And then the next thing you know, here it is. So I'm going to give you a few examples, and I brought some props. Okay. I don't know if you do close-ups, but you know. This stone represents fear. It's got a lot of different aspects to it, got a lot of different sizes to it, a lot of different facets, because fear shows up for us in many different ways, right? Fear is faith twisted into anticipating something dire or dreadful entering our lives, something that we have no control over. And I would venture to say all of us have held this stone at one time or another, living in fear. This stone, this beautiful green crystal, I call this the stone of envy. I don't know why we say envy is green, but what the heck, envy. Envy is that which drives us to want to grasp and desire the things of this world. Like the Buddhists say, grasping is the source of suffering. But with envy, we kick up that grasping a notch in a way that is even more harmful. Because when we envy, we're basically saying, I want what you have, or I want what she has, or I want everything they have. We're trying to take the good away from somebody else to give it to ourselves. And that is a stone of great weight indeed. Now, this ugly thing is the stone of unworthiness. I'm not good enough. Not for the likes of me. Again, so many times that over the years we receive messages from people around us, even well-meaning people that tell us, you're not big enough, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not patient enough, you're just not enough. This stone is actually petrified wood. And I think that feelings of unworthiness turn us to stone and block our ability to live with joy. So there you go with that one. Two more. This is the stone, as beautiful as it is, and it shines, of judgment. Judging other people and making them wrong so that I can be right. And it cuts. This is very sharp. It's almost uncomfortable in my hand. But when we sit in judgment on others and we set ourselves up to be the sparkling model, we cut ourselves. We cut our hearts. We cut our souls. It's exactly what we don't want to do when we love. And then this, just one more. Couldn't resist. This is the stone of lack, as beautiful as it is. The belief that there isn't enough love or money or resources or attention or whatever. It represents that feeling that we will never grab that gold ring as we're riding in the horse of our merry-go-round. And I chose this because it is pyrite, fool's gold. And so lack is an illusion, just as this makes you think you've got something. Fool's gold, lack. Now, I know that those are just a few examples, but there's lots of different stones that I think exist for us. Now, some of us, some of those stones of different kinds, whether it be anger or, I don't know, give me another name. Give me something else. Resentment. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. These kinds of things, some of us we can toss away fairly easily. Yet other stones, even those we haven't been able to mention sometimes, they are carried in the subconscious, unconscious backpack that we carry around. If we're not aware of them, though, what we know is that we're being weighed down and they're very heavy as we're walking our path of life. So, attitudes and beliefs such as these that limit us and make us less and make us not love, keep us imprisoned just as surely as the stone that closed and blocked Jesus' tomb. And they do prevent us from knowing the truth of who we are. Remember, I said Jesus of Nazareth died, but what emerged was the Christ consciousness. And that is the truth of who we are. We are unique, eternal, perfect, and eternally loved expressions of the one divine. All that is. There is within each one of us a light. That is that Christ consciousness, ready to come forth from the darkness and shine upon the world. The light of Spirit. The light of the divine that illuminates all things, creates all things, and then illuminates all with its own presence. And we often speak of people who are radiant with happiness or aglow with love. And these are metaphors, but they're also true. The light is real. The practitioner students are dealing with this, and we were talking about this past week. It's real. Yes, we do radiate light when we choose to do so. Or we can hide our light under that proverbial bushel, which is pretty much like pulling the stone over my head, you know? Now, we could talk a lot about what does it take to get rid of some of those stones and roll them away one by one, but those are for other talks. Right now, I'll just say one simple thing. Simply put, every time we act from love, every time we choose love instead of anger or hatred or resentment or fear, we transmute a stone into an open door to our greater expression of the divine. So, Easter, as much as we love it, and the kids certainly do, it's not about celebrating a one-time event that happened to an individual person. We all go, yay! It's not like that at all. Our ability to resurrect is not reserved for an annual event. As I said, we are Easter every day. This is not some kind of a miracle that we're doing. Our ability to die, gestate, and reemerge is simply the way it works. And it's a beautiful thing to see. As John O'Donohue says so beautifully, the birth of the heart is an ongoing process. In our reading from Dr. Holmes today we leave the tomb of doubt and we roll away the stone of uncertainty and we find that resurrected self. So today we celebrate the emergence of the Christ consciousness, the Buddha nature, the Atman, that is always there in each person. In each person. Today, we declare freedom from death. Today, we declare liberation into renewal, into the light of day, giving thanks for the darkness of the night that allowed us to be enough to move into the greater. In conclusion, may you live with courage, confidence, and faith. May the light draw you to itself and clothe you in glory. May your time in isolation bring you deep reflections that lift you up, so that when you reemerge into the world, you do so transformed. And so it is. Thank you. It's now time to pray, and I invite there we are, Alice. Thank you to bring up the prayer box. Thanks a lot. Yeah. You all know the routine, and we're going to do this together. Thank you, Kev, for giving me a little background. Hi, sweetheart. So join me then as we turn within to what seems to be darkness, but is the vast openness of God itself. That spaciousness that breathes itself into its creation, and here we are. And this is my truth. I am vibrating and alive and radiant with it, as is every person. And from that point of power and knowing and conviction and oneness, as I speak the word, what I know is that that word unfolds as the let there be, and it is done. And I begin with speaking the word of acceptance and manifestation for every request in this prayer box. Because what I accept and know is that the faith that moves people to make the request is the faith that cracks open the door into the newness, that God walks right through it and says, here, yes. And so I bless and know that each request is already being manifested, demonstrated, and said yes to. I speak a word for this month's nonprofit partner, Youth Alive, whose mission is to break the cycle of violence through prevention, intervention, and healing. Oh, what a glorious cause for which we anchor ourselves in yes, and the knowingness that this is not only possible, but it is happening now. I speak a word for our beloved Mother Earth. Gratitude for her beauty and her bounty, compassion for the stresses that she is experiencing, and knowing that life is eternal, that always the spring returns. I bless our youth and the youth of all the world. They are our future, they are our lives. And I give thanks for knowing that there is within each of them that place of power and knowing that cannot lead them wrong, so that they walk into the future with gifts beyond our imagining. I speak a word of love, comfort, peace of mind, and healing of all kinds for those who are impacted by challenges of all kinds. And I accept and know that those challenges, whatever that would be illness or loss, are being held in the heart of God and lifted up and loved into wholeness yet again. For Lita de Seville, Tatjana and Valerie and their family from Ukraine. For Rita Cotton, Peggy Cotton's mother. For Aben Olson, Lupi Kapenda, Jahari Sloan, Eileen Grossman, Jake Johnson, Wes Wyman, Jerry Arbogast, Derek Buckwalter, and Shanna H. I speak a word of comfort and love for Gladys Green, who has made her transition, the mother of Charles and Beverly Green, having walked through the door of death into a new life. Grateful for that. I speak a word of comfort and prayer and faith for Ukraine. I claim and know that despite the violence and the hurt, for every act of violence, there are 5, 10, and more acts of compassion and love and healing that are happening. And I give thanks for knowing that the world is being uplifted in its common cause of support for this country. If there be anyone within your heart that seeks a prayer of healing or love or uplifting, please take a moment now to speak their names into this space. And as those names are arising, what I accept and know is that there's more than enough love for all of them. More than enough yes to grant every desire, and more than enough God to simply let us be the best that we are, and we take this into the world, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine. With the light of Easter and resurrection, with the light of our own souls. So in gratitude, I release this prayer now. Let it be. Handing it over to that law of mind which has been so patiently waiting to be allowed to go. And it does, and so it is. Thank you, my darling. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Oh, I'm told I have to do the prosperity message first? Okay, sorry. Yeah, I may have been here since 1994, but I'm still learning my way around. It is a wonderful time right now. This is the time to emerge into our own bounty and then to share that bounty with that which we love so much, which is the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, our spiritual home, our spiritual family. So this is a time when we bring forth our donations, and I encourage us, each of us, to know that generosity is not just a stone. That's not a stone, actually. It's an open door into the greater that is yet to be. And as we give, it rebounds back to us. We cannot outgive the cycle and the circulation of all that is. So let us do our affirmation. Please hold your offerings to your chest, your heart, or in your mind's eye, and say together, "This gift I give is God in action. It does good work in the world and blesses creation." And so it does, and so it is. Now, there are many ways to give, and I'm going to point them out right here. In addition to the old-fashioned checks, which I tend to love to write, cash is good stuff. There's also auto-giving. We have, there's a donate button up there that you can do all kinds of online giving to. Read that. All those wonderful good things. And Zelle, that's right, we can do Zelle too, which is great. And I thank you right now in advance for the generosity that I know is being poured forth in this moment. Thank you. And now may I turn this over to our wonderful musicians.
We're gonna have a little fun. You can just join up, give us a little energy, and just clap your hands with us. First, I want to introduce the band. We got Miles Blackwell on the bass from Oakland School of the Arts. He's 17 years old, one of my students. Also, we got Dame Drummer on the drums. He said he's also 17 years old. It's just in the spirit of resurrection and renewal. I love that message. Transformation. Breaking away the stone, moving away the stone, you know what I'm saying? This is a song that I wrote called Universal Love, Universal Love. Sometimes I like to stand up. I don't always just play the piano. So if you can stand up with me, we'll have some little fun. Yeah. I spread universal love all around the world. This one for my people near and far. Hit you with the sound that'll touch your heart. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. I spread universal love all around the town. Some claim they are the king, but we wear the crown. Shining like the brightest and the brightest star. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. You feel it in your heart? Yeah. Yeah. Let me tell you a little something. Universal law, the lesson that we learn. Every day's a lesson we live and we learn. I take a look around, it got me so concerned. Feels like these are the times the Savior shall return. So I look in the mirror, see a God's reflection. Knowing a change I wanna be begins in my perception. Look every person in the eye, allow a real connection. Fear no man, I know the angels over me protecting. No weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. Knowing even through the struggles, that just makes me stronger. My sacrifices are the prayers a humble servant offers at the altar. These bars as hard as the rock of Gibraltar. Never falter, got these haters puzzled like a crossword. Hit them with them spiritual laws, Deepak Chopra. Meditation, mantra, affirmation, honor, uplift, up, most high, Oakland or Wakanda. I spread universal love all around the town. Some claim they are the king, but I wear the crown. Shining like the biggest and the brightest star. Blessings like a message that was getting God. I spread universal love all around the world. Do it for my people, all the boys and girls. And if you're feeling in your heart, just say, oh yeah. Yeah, conscious master, read these passages like I'm a pastor. Acrobatic for the people, I bend over backwards. Trying to keep us moving forward, never going backward. Harriet Tubman in a tunnel holding up a lantern. Trying to lead the way to deeper understanding. Deepest canyons, taking chances, I just keep expanding. The love that I feel, it goes beyond romantic. It's looking out for my brothers like we all was family. It's lifting up my sisters like she was a queen. Empowering the youth and telling they can be anything. It's spreading synergies, energies through vicinity. Speaking remedies, ending poverty. Prayers to my enemies. Lord, have mercy, can I get a witness? Practicing forgiveness, clear intention, positivity. Speaking it to existence. Make that first million, spread it back into the community. Making feel good music for our healing. Come on. I spread universal love all around the world. This one for my people near and far. Hit you with the sound that'll touch your heart. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. I spread universal love all around the town. Some claim they are the king, but I wear the crown. Shining like the biggest and the brightest star. Blessings like a message that was sent from God. Spread love all around the world. Give thanks. Give thanks. One more time, Miles Blackwell on the bass, Dame Drum on the drum.
Thank you so much, Kev Choice, Dane Drummer, and Miles Blackwell. Thank you so much. Let's give them another. And as it's already been said a couple of times, we are so blessed in this community to have such wonderful musicians, and we always welcome you back. It is just a joy. You enhance our Sundays. You make our Sundays, of course, along with our speaker. And I want to ask everybody to again thank Reverend Catherine for her wonderful talk. Yeah, such a beautiful, meaningful talk, and I love the rocks, the visuals, and the fool's gold, everything that's so I'm going to keep that image in my mind for a long time. Thank you so much. Such a beautiful talk, and so timely. And now I would like to also thank everybody who participated in this service in any way. Our host, our musicians again, our speaker, everyone, all of our tech team, everyone who's worked in the background to put this service together, and our people, greeters out front, just everybody. It takes a village to put on these Sunday services, and they always are so well done and so beautiful. And so let's give everybody a hand, everybody who's participated. Yeah, thank you so much. So now I would like to in case you don't know, we have prayer offered in the back of the sanctuary following the service by our practitioners. So if you do have one of those stones in your heart, if you are carrying a stone that you would like help releasing, we can help shift with that with prayer. And also, if you just have something you'd like to celebrate or anything you would like to have prayer for, it doesn't have to be a stone. It can be something joyful in your life that you would even like to just affirm. Please see us in the back after the service. We also have practitioners who are available to give a 30-minute free practitioner session, a prayer session, and you can find the names of the practitioners who are offering those sessions on our website. So that is also available just for prayer support. I want to also, let's do our closing affirmation. And I think we have a slide for that, and you can read along with me. Today, I release the stones of thought that are heavy on my soul and emerge into the light of spirit, refreshed, renewed, and joyful. And so it is. Okay, and I want to encourage everybody to leave, and it's so nice to see so many people here. I want to say, I haven't seen this many people in person for a long time, and it's really wonderful. So I want to encourage everybody to leave quickly from the door in the back or this door. There's also a donation basket here. So if you want to leave a donation in the basket as you leave, that is also available. We also have a prayer box at the back of the sanctuary where you can put in a written prayer request, and those prayers will be prayed over on Monday nights by a prayer group that we have, and they will be ongoing prayers for those for a few weeks. So that's another option. And now I'd like to just, of course, introduce our musicians one more time for a closing song. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you could all please stand for our closing song. Take a look around the room and smile at someone. I know we aren't allowed to hug or touch anymore, or maybe wave to someone. Just realize we are all so blessed to be in this space. I consider this our theme song, because we are really blessed always. Hoping that you go off into the week full of blessings, full of energy from all who have given of themselves today, and just from being in this blessed space. Sing along. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and sing amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God. Sing amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and sing amen. Have a blessed Easter and a blessed week, y'all. Much love, baby.